He knocked down the most feared man in boxing. A single body shot in round 7 erased it all. He beat the unbeaten Devin Haney, 7 knockdowns, a masterclass in controlled chaos.
Out back. Oh, and down goes Devin Haney!
King Ryan Garcia!
Then a lab result stripped everything away. Ryan Garcia has lived more tragedy, triumph, and turmoil in 2 years than most fighters experience in a lifetime. At 26, he stands at the center of boxing's most volatile storm. The most dangerous question in boxing right now isn't who he fights next. It's who is Ryan Garcia? And does he even know? Born in 1998 in Victorville, California. No hallowed gyms of East LA. No soot-stained walls in Philadelphia. No boxing dynasty passing down secrets like scripture. Just an athlete, a garage, and relentless drive. At 7 years old, he wasn't playing at combat. He was solving the geometric problems of the ring before he could articulate what geometry was. Coaches speak of his timing not as a learned skill, but as an innate, unsettling intuition. The kind that surfaces once a generation, if that. While other kids chase normal childhoods, Garcia chased the addictive feeling of hitting a target exactly right.
They're talking about an age change, so I don't know. I'll probably just go pro.
He pushed himself past the point his coaches were comfortable with. That hunger became the foundation for everything that followed. He tore through the amateurs, racking up junior titles with an ease that bordered on dismissive. It wasn't just that he was winning, it was how, with a fluidity and flash that made outcomes feel like foregone conclusions, scouts started using a dangerous word around him: generational. That word follows a fighter for life. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes it's a weight that never fully lifts. There's a cost to being that good, that young, that nobody discusses. Fighters who develop technical brilliance in their early teens often skip the phase most professionals rely on later. The phase of struggle, of losing rounds, of solving problems in real time against equals. Garcia's amateur dominance was so complete, he rarely had to develop those instincts under real duress. That absence doesn't show up early. It shows up against a Tank Davis, against the accumulated pressure of a career built entirely in the public eye. The easier the path to the top looks, the harder the eventual reckoning with real adversity tends to be. He turned professional in 2016 at 17. Not just a prospect, a phenomenon in waiting. The centerpiece of his arsenal, the left hook. Let's slow down here. Casual fans underestimate how rare this punch is. Garcia's left hook wasn't just fast. It was kinetic physics disguised as violence, loaded from a deceptive pulling counter motion that hit its origin on point until the last fraction of a second. By the time an opponent's brain registered hook, the punch had already landed. It arrived faster than the human optic nerve could transmit a block signal and turn it into physical reaction.
Another one, and a hook, and down he goes. That was sensational for Ryan Garcia.
Translation: by the time you saw it, it was already too late. Luke Campbell found out in January 2021, an Olympic silver medalist who'd gone the distance with Lomachenko. Elite footwork, elite timing, elite ring IQ. None of it mattered. Garcia found him with that hook in round 7 and ended the conversation.
Coming forward with no respect.
Eddie Reynoso saying to Ryan Garcia, "You're young."
Body shot.
And he goes down, and now Campbell is down on a knee, 2 knees. He's asking questions. He's Ed King Ryan Garcia.
But while Garcia sharpened his fangs inside the ropes, something equally significant was happening outside them. His social following exploded to numbers that dwarfed decorated world champions with a decade more experience. Garcia became the ultimate litmus test for boxing's new era. Can a man with the platform and pop culture gravity of a mainstream celebrity coexist with a fighter still evolving into a complete world-class craftsman? Traditionalists scoffed at the gap between his fame and his resume. The new generation, raised on personality-driven sports content, was already firmly in his corner. That tension between old guard skepticism and new generation adoration has trailed Garcia through every high and every low of his career. April 2023, Las Vegas. For one suspended electric moment it was damage to the narrative of invincibility that had followed him since he was a teenager. For the first time, boxing had concrete proof he could be beaten decisively by a complete fighter at his peak. What happened next says as much about Garcia as the fight itself. Instead of disappearing, he leaned into the noise. He talked openly, sometimes in ways that made fans uncomfortable, sometimes in ways that made them love him more. That willingness to be visibly, messily human after failure has become one of his most defining and polarizing traits.
You guys, I'm mental. Yeah, I'm a little fucking mental, but I'm ready to destroy motherfuckers. Y'all weren't talking shit about Mike Tyson when he was like this. Y'all respect him now, right? Okay then, so you're gonna respect me. I seen some shit I should have never seen, but I'm a killer now.
Then came the zenith, April 2024, against Devin Haney, the undisputed king of precision, a fighter widely regarded as one of the most technically flawless boxers on the planet. Garcia didn't just win, he dismantled him. 7 knockdowns against a fighter who had never tasted anything close to that level of punishment. It was the best performance of Garcia's career, a night where every ounce of the generational talk from a decade earlier finally, fully justified itself. And then the lab report arrived. Ostarine, a performance-enhancing substance. It turned a crowning, career-defining achievement into an asterisk, then a no contest. Allegations of contamination, competing explanations, regulatory fallout that played out across headlines for weeks. He had performed like something close to a boxing god on that night, only to be dragged instantly into the courtroom of public opinion as a villain. The debate split boxing in a way few controversies have. Some pointed to the contamination defense. Others pointed to the stripped win and argued the outcome spoke for itself.
One thing we can't deny now, which is factual, is that when he boxed Devin Haney, he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system.
What's undeniable, the episode did lasting damage to how fans can enjoy Garcia's greatest performance. A night that should be remembered for pure brilliance is now permanently tangled with controversy. The Ostarine crisis isn't just about one test result. It's about the impossible arithmetic of being Ryan Garcia in the modern media landscape. When you carry an audience in the tens of millions, there's no such thing as a private mistake, no quiet gym to process a setback away from public view. Every misstep, every unguarded comment is broadcast at maximum volume, dissected, clipped, and reshared within minutes. Where other fighters can lose and rebuild in the quiet of the gym, taking a smaller fight, working out the kinks away from cameras, Garcia's failures become global headlines instantly.
Ryan was at the motherfucking press conference drunk as a skunk. Ryan is an alcoholic, he drink a lot, so we don't know which Ryan we're gonna get.
This is the invisible armor he wears into every ring appearance. The pressure of the platform itself, separate entirely from the pressure of the opponent standing across from him. He's a fighter in his 20s, operating in a sport that demands the accumulated wisdom of someone twice his age, all while fighting for athletic respect. At the same time, he's managing the very visibility that generates his power and his income. That he's still standing, still fighting, still generating this much conversation is itself a testament to a certain resilience, even if it doesn't look like the quiet professionalism boxing traditionalists prefer to reward. Strip away the headlines. Look purely at the numbers. A knockout ratio comfortably above most of his direct rivals. Punch output in his best performances that regularly outpaces opponents by a wide margin per round. Against Haney, the connect percentage on power shots was the kind of number analysts don't usually see against a defensive specialist of that caliber. But numbers without context mislead. Against overmatched opponents, Garcia's output is elite, borderline unprecedented. Against a patient pressure fighter like Tank Davis, that's the real statistical story. Spectacular peaks followed by valleys just as steep. The profile of a fighter who hasn't yet found the mid-fight gear that turns highlight reel talent into a complete, sustained threat across 12 rounds. The gap between his ceiling and his floor is wider than almost any other fighter at the top of the sport. That's precisely what makes him must-watch television every single time. There's a conversation happening in boxing right now that goes beyond punches, about mental health, about the pressure of fame, about what it actually costs a young athlete to grow up entirely in public.
Something wrong with him. I don't know what's going on, but that shit is not normal.
Garcia has been unusually candid about his own struggles. That candor cuts both ways. It's made him relatable in a way few champions manage. Fans who've never thrown a punch see pieces of their own anxiety reflected back at them by a world champion. That connection is powerful, but it's also given critics ammunition to question his focus, his professionalism, his readiness for boxing's biggest nights. Every emotional post, every unfiltered comment gets run through that same brutal loss arithmetic. What's often missed, fighters have always carried private battles into the ring. Garcia is just the first force to carry his in full view of 50 million people. Where does the story go from here? He possesses one of the most dangerous counterpunches in the entire sport. Getting up, getting back in the ring, performing again after setbacks that have ended other careers. But the road back to full credibility isn't paved with viral moments, highlight reels, or social media engagement numbers. It's paved with mundane, grueling, repetitive discipline that he has, at various points, so visibly bypassed in favor of the spotlight.
Fuck what people say about me. I walked through the fire and still held it down and still beat fucking Devin Haney and still drank every day and still beat him. And I did everything. What the fuck? Hey, what happened? False reality, right? Drank every single night, went out on the first Monday and a Tuesday and drank everything. What happened? I won. Sincerely, am I proud of that? But I'm just saying, it was a statement to show you guys can't really fuck with me.
Is Ryan Garcia the future of boxing? Or a cautionary tale of a flame that burned too bright, too fast, too publicly? That's the real fight he has to win. Not against any single opponent, against the gravitational pull of his own fame, his own platform, his own history. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: this story isn't finished. And however it ends, it will be studied for years, as a blueprint or a warning for what happens when generational talent collides head-on with the modern attention economy. Only character keeps you there. Whether you think he's the real deal or squandering the best gift the sport has seen in years, you cannot look away. And that, more than any title belt, might be the most valuable thing Ryan Garcia has right now. If you want to train with the kind of focus that turns raw talent into real technique, check the description for my top picks on essential boxing gear. And if this deep dive kept you locked in, hit subscribe to Boxing Loops. We go deeper into boxing's most polarizing figures every single week.